And of course, director, please, another round of applause. A round of applause. Amazing. How was it, ladies and gentlemen? Goosebumps? Goosebumps?
We want more.
Him. Within.
Don't look at me.
Hindi pa
When-
gusto
when-
yung popcorn eh.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's start this. When is the next, sir?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We want a sequel. Right now.
When is the next?
No pressure, sir. Sir Andre.
Well, it depends siguro. If there's more support like the last one, then why not? I mean, I'm pretty sure that, again, sabi nga nila, bitin, no? And ako, kahit ako, parang I want to see more. I want to see maybe a series of short films telling, relevant stories, relevant truths. So hopefully, hopefully this sparks interest. It sparks support from other like-minded individuals. And thank you in advance to sa mga susuporta.
We can think about it already. 8 episodes straight there, Netflix or somewhere there, straight up.
Of course, with you na, kapatid. Kasama ka na namin.
Kinakabahan ako dun.
No, but on a serious note, I think Sir Andre said it perfectly. We need the support. I was just called about this last week, and I asked the AFP, sir, what's this project about? And they said, Matt, it's a wonderful project. You have to see it. And after seeing it, it gave goosebumps from beginning to end, ladies and gentlemen. And I think the support that it needs is for us to talk about it on social media, to let people know so that producers, executive producers can actually fund this project and make it even bigger. Tama, sir?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. No?
Sorry.
but yes, hopefully you guys can share, talk about it, and not just it, but other projects like it. Honestly, yung sinabi mo nga na parang 8 episode series, parang
Si Carlo yan, Carlo. Ay, idea ni Carlo.
Idea na yun. Maganda sana yun. Pero yung parang sa amin kasi, we just want to start the conversation, and we want to highlight actually, hindi kami yung bide, yung partners namin from the creative sector, in the sense that they stepped up. Itong project na to, and again, those like it, they stepped up and they showed na para bang, may yung ambag nila. Sila in their own way, that's their little acts of heroism, kumbaga. Pagsuporta sa frontliners natin, and to ensure that, the message is continuously delivered and brought home and brought real.
Sir Andre, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's follow the script now. Okay. Direk Kevin Mayuga, sir, wonderful project.
Thank you.
You shot it super for just a 4-minute there. It was amazing. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Now, where did the a round of applause? Yes, sorry. Where did the inspiration come from, and how did it all start?
Well, the inspiration really came from my research on the actual issue in the West Philippine Sea. Talking to the fishermen, hearing their first-hand experience, hearing stories from the Coast Guard and even from the AFP, I feel like that really stirred something in me and made me want to tell their story even more and to spread this awareness. It's a real thing. It goes beyond the headlines, the surface, like I said, the surface level of the headlines. It made me want to get everyone to care about this, to fight the apathy, and to really research and find out what's going on for themselves.
I mean, how was the research project, the research portion? I'm sure you did your preliminary research and all. What is something you can share with us that us normal people we don't know?
One of my favorite things from my research is that line that we heard straight from a fisherman, and he said, "Para kaming magnanakaw sa sarili naming karagatan," and that cut me deep. And I felt like that was so profound, coming from a simple fisher folk, and to be able to share his pain and experience in that way. Na wala ba tayong pake na para din tayong magnanakaw sa sariling karagatan? Di ba dapat tayo nagagalit na may kinukuha sa atin? And that's something that stirred in me to want to be able to tell their story.
Nice. And after watching the film, we were expecting a 1-hour film. We're ready to go. But you twisted it in the end. Our idol right there, the best actor in the world, Lucero, just got the camera and then spoke directly to the camera. I mean, how did that come about? Was that really part of the plan?
That was always part of the plan. We set out to make this sort of cinematic trailer again, but really it's a PSA. It's a call to action, to care, to talk about it, to know. And at the end of the trailer, I love Sid's performance when he faces the camera, takes off his bandana and his mask, and confronts us as an audience and says, "Hindi to pelikula, totoong buhay to."
Powerful, Sid. Powerful, bro.
Umiiyak siya.
I know. What's
So emotional.
Kanina pa, bro. Sid, congratulations. It was moving. Moving.
Man,
How does it feel?
serious. I don't think I've ever felt this proud of anything I've ever done. I'm really happy my mom's here.
Tita. Tita's there. Hey, Tita. Round of applause for Tita. But Sid, congratulations, man.
He doesn't want to stop.
Amazing. I mean, goosebumps right now. I mean, talk us through this. Why is it so emotional to you? I mean, did you feel this way before doing the movie, or it changed right after you shot the movie?
Right now, this just happened now. Like, I experienced the movie with you guys. I came into the project thinking of it as the next project, as you would as a professional. And then you get to meet people who actually speak about it. And before, and maybe you've heard this before, diba? But you actually talk to people who are actually there. And immediately the tone changes. You go to the meeting, I'm going to see my friends. Pagdating mo doon, whoa, this is not a joke. So that kind of set the way I was going to do it from then on. It was only now when I watched it and I was just like, I'm so glad my mom's here, man. Like, sana nabawasan lahat ng mga problema ang binigay ko sa'yo, mama.
What's the major takeaway after the movie?
I said it kanina, and I've been saying it a lot, like, question everything, diba? Everything. Regardless whether it's whatever your mom told you, or your teacher, or the police officer, or the law, or your religion, question everything. Because once we stop learning about ourselves.
Thank you, Sid. Question everything. Congratulations.
Gee, thanks, man. Congratulations to us.
Now, before we go to the other cast members, congratulations din, matindi din. Matindi. We have some questions from the media that they would want to ask some questions, but it's here, it's in the script. I think it's pre-selected questions that I'll read out. The first question, how has this unique format, the PSA Film Campaign, shaped the way you approach storytelling and advocacy? Who'd like to answer? Did I?
I can take that.
Thank you.
So it's such a unique project to make a trailer and not a full film. We felt like this sort of a trailer is its own treatment or its own form and its own short film. And we felt like to spread the awareness fast enough, we wanted to make something short and sweet and spreadable, something that could go trending or viral. Again, it's entertainment, it's film, but sometimes, life is stranger than fiction. This was pretty much based on our true research and facts. And again, I feel like it cuts through better when you least expect it, especially when we confront the audience at the end.
So when's the full feature?
Hopefully we get more rally or money to make a full film, but so far, it's looking good, and we want to just speak up about this issue.
Thank you, Direk. The next question here from our press, tell us why this story is very personal to you. I mean, I think you answered that kanina, Direk, but would you like to add? Direk again? Direk? Oh. It's you, it's just you.
I think being Filipino, living in an island country, in an archipelago, everybody has their own sort of ties to the water, to the sea, and it's part of our identity. And to have something being taken away from you, it's something that we should be mad about or care about. And I feel like there's a big legacy thing here. It goes on to our kids and our grandkids. Personally, also, my family has served in the Navy in one way or another. Actually, I want to honor my Lolo, Matt. He's here today. He used to be an admiral in the Philippine Navy. He actually didn't know that I was doing this project. He was just enjoying golf. But I'm really happy and hope this makes him proud.
Another question for Direk? Yes, ma'am. My coaches are down there. The next question from the press: What drove you to tell the story and frame the West Philippine Sea issue as something deeply personal for every single Filipino? Yes, you again.
I think I've answered this question. But again, when something of your identity is being taken away, this is something that's very serious. I had an insight earlier that some people don't want to talk about the West Philippine Sea because they think it's political. But I don't understand exactly where that's coming from, because it doesn't matter what political party you are supporting. This is a Filipino thing. It's a global thing. In food delivery, there was a headline that said the only thing that can stop this war is the foreign country or global opinion. And I feel like to be able to sway the global opinion, we have to change the narrative of the local opinion here.
Beautifully said. This is not political. Okay, Direk, thank you very much and congratulations again. Congratulations. Now for the main cast naman, Carlo, Sid, Ryza, congratulations again.
Thank you, kapatid.
I know this film tackles a heavy subject matter, but what made you decide to participate, and how did this affect you personally? And next question, what do you think is the significance of this for our audience and the rest of the Filipino people?
Isa? No, well, what made me say...
What made you say yes?
Uh,
I think you answered it kanina there, but we'd like to hear it again.
yeah, so, hindi, para sigurong gusto kong mas maging knowledgeable kasi aware lang ako kung ano nangyayari. So gusto kong mas malaman nga kung ano talaga yung mas deep kung ano nangyayari. Doon nga, pumunta nga kami doon, nakausap ko yung mga fishermen. Nalaman ko kung gaano kalalim yung sakit at kung gaano naapektuhan yung livelihood nila and everything. So sabi ko, kailangan kong tumulong in a way na alam ko na kaya ko.
Ano yung sa mga, what's one thing na sobrang deep yung problema ng mga fishermen? What's one thing you learned from that?
Si Timmy yung nasa fisherman side, ako yung nasa sa BRB.
Ano ba?
Ako ang nakausap ko yung mga
Hindi ba ikaw yun?
men and women na in uniform. So yung totoo, yung threat, yung harassment doon na every day hindi nila alam kung makakalabas ba sila doon ng buhay. Tapos may mga nakausap ako doon ng mga chief officer na tinatanong ko kung may family sila. Tapos I learned one of the chief officer kakapanganak lang, 2 months. So if that doesn't give you fuel, fire, para ipaglaban, kung ano yung para sa atin, hindi naman kasi to by law written na, di ba? Ginrant sa atin yung West Philippine Sea, in-award sa atin yung sovereign rights. So, ipaglaban mo kung ano yung sa atin, kung ano yung tama.
Thank you, Carlo. Parang pakin natin si Carlo. Ryza, what about you? What's one thing, why did you say yes to this project? And
First of all, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. And thank you for coming sa time na binigay niyo yung support po sa amin lahat dito. And yun nga, nag-yes ako because aware ako sa nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea. As in, updated ako. Pagdating about sa bansa natin, gusto ko may alam ako sa nangyayari. And isang malaking karangalan na makasama po ako sa project na to. At sobrang timing na that time, yung hair ko kasi, nagpakalbo kasi ako. So, that time, sobrang bagay nung role ko. dun sa binigay sa akin. Kaya nag-yes ako agad.
It wasn't for that.
What?
The hair. Yeah, the hair wasn't for the role.
No,
So,
kalbo po
timing lang.
talaga ako that time. Meron po akong film na ginawa na kalbo. Nagpakalbo po ako and then nag-semi-kalbo na siya and then nagpa-military cut na po ako after that.
Yeah, the role was meant for you. Amazing. What's one thing you learned about the Navy? Diba? You were doing the briefing, the
Yes.
tactical briefings for the Navy. Anong isang bagay na talagang masasabi mo na I really appreciate the Navy because of this?
Yung dedikasyon nila sa trabaho nila na kaya nilang isakripisyo yung pamilya nila, yung time nila sa family nila para lang ipaglaban kung ano yung atin. Yun.
West Philippine Sea? Sid, what about you, brother? What made you say yes to this? Like you said kanina, this was just another project that came about,
Yeah.
etc. So you said yes. So
Yeah.
how did this journey with you?
I always say yes. Anyone approaches me, I'm gonna say yes. That's why I need to have a manager. Kailangan talaga eh. I'll always say yes. I'll work for cigarettes, you know what I mean? So, to me, kasi there's two types diba, of movies or entertainment. There's entertainment and there's when you watch because someone's trying to say something, that's probably why they wrote the film. I like to play around with the balance of both, but I try my best to like talk about anything, do films that actually talk about something. Past 4 or 5 years have been concentrated on mental health awareness in most of my films, even on TV. If you look at my entire career, I think this is probably the most important one. So that was a no-brainer for me. It was an instant yes.
Amazing. It was just 5 minutes. How much more within 1 hour film about this?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Walang
Amazing.
tissue. Breakdown na tayo nun.
But that scene of you going down underwater, that was amazing also. Aside from all the other scenes, but how did you do that? How long did you hold your breath going down?
That was difficult. That was about a 6-hour day, no? All of the water shots, hati kami nun ni Carlo. They added some stuff to make it look more bagay for cinema,
Right.
more cinematic. But it wasn't so deep. It was just there.
But you had weights on and everything to
We
put
put
it
some
on.
weights, yeah, because it's weird. You have to fall, but you have a chest full of air, so you're just gonna, float. And you try to release half of that so that you sink, but you can't be down there too long. So weights na lang.
Amazing. Especially confrontation scene with your brother. Amazing. Palakpakan po natin sila.
Palagi itong intense eh. Itong kapatid ko na to, laging intense to eh. Kailangan mong sabayan yung intense.
Galing, Carlo, galing. Next, we have a few questions from the press. We can, or no, it's all, okay, we can ask? Oh no, it's here pala. Okay, pasensya na po. The next question from the press for Carlo, how did this role impact your understanding of the West Philippine Sea issue and those on the front lines? I know you said you researched about it, you knew a little about it before, or you knew about it before. How did everything change after actually talking to the Navy guys, boarding the ships? How did it all change?
Yung respeto, syempre, mas tumaas yung pagmamahal ko sa bansang Pilipinas at kung paano nila pinoprotektahan yun. Sobrang laki nung naitulong sa akin kasi alam ko na yung future generations makikinabang din sa West Philippine Sea. Yun.
Thank you. Si Ryza naman, what emotions from the press, Ma'am Ryza? Ma'am, what emotions or experiences did you draw on to bring authenticity to your performance in a story that is so tied to our nation's identity?
Yun nga, sabi ko kanina, sobrang aware ko sa nangyayari. So, alam ko yung dala-dala nilang emotions. Yung galit, yung pride, saka yung determination nila na ipaglaban yung West Philippine Sea. At yun yung nakatulong sa character ko. Kaya dapat natin silang ipaglaban at suportahan kung ano man yung pinaglalaban nila. Yun lang.
Thank you, Ryza. No? A question for the both of you from the press again. The film saw you put on the AFP uniform, specifically the Navy uniforms. What was different about this role?
Kasi kami, iba-ibang character yung pinuportray namin. And ito yung ginawa namin, parang mas, yung suot mo na yung uniform, parang kang may responsibilidad. Responsibilidad na sabihin sa kanila yung totoong mensahe about sa West Philippine Sea. And ang laki ng respeto ko sa mga frontliners. Dahil grabe yung sakripisyong binigay nila. At yun yung nararamdaman ko. Once nasuot ko siya, para akong may responsibility na kailangan ko masabi kung ano yung mensahe nitong short film na to.
Carlo?
Same, nung suot ko yung uniforme, parang suot ko yung bandila ng Pilipinas. Dapat proud ka, dapat ipaglaban mo. Kaya ibang-iba siya kasi alam ko as an actor, hindi ako magiging as brave or as patriotic ng ating mga men and women in uniform. Pero yun lang yung gusto ko nung suot ko nito, yung uniforme, dapat yung responsibility at yung pagiging proud na Pilipino ka at ipaglalaban mo kung ano yung sayo. Yun yung dala-dala ko.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Ryza. No? Just a quick antidote. No? For me personally, as a reservist, second lieutenant in the service, if I put on the uniform, like exactly what Carlo said, I'll never be like them, but I'll always promise to tell their stories. That's our duty as people in the entertainment industry, to tell their stories. Just a few days ago, we lost one of our captains in the army, and it was a sight that I will never forget. He was a son of a general. He was fighting and he lost his life. And things like this make us realize that there's selfless service for the country, to defend the country, to protect the country. And they just need more respect. So, I encourage everybody, whenever we see somebody in uniform, just go up to them and say thank you for your service. A simple line like that can boost their morale 100%. So, thank you for your service, Sir Ma'am. Now, Sid Lucero.
Oh no.
Tapos na ba yung mga popcorn yun? May popcorn ba? Pero pa siya. Ito, from the press again, how much can you relate to playing the role of an older brother and a leader of the people like Luis?
Man, that's difficult because it's a totally different world, right? But I really believe that leadership starts in your house, in your home. I remember when we were learning about your roles in the government, like president, blah, 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 that it's a good way to check out how the family of that person is, and it's a good way to tell if he can lead the country. So I really believe that it starts there. And I do have a brother, and we do have our own arguments sometimes, but it's part of it. Diba?
Amazing how you infused into character and became the character, embodied the character. How did you, what was the process?
That was probably the hardest part, because it's not like the three of us were playing a certain individual. We are representing a certain demographic or group of people in our country, and that's difficult because you're basically putting it into one body, an entire group, diba? And that's like a good chunk of the country. And I think that's how I felt now while I was listening to you, nakapagsuot mo na yung uniform, because you're not wearing it. You're representing the whole AFP, and that's heavy. And the only way I can the only way I can explain it through my experience is that the closest thing to this feeling is when you're working on a project and written, directed, and everything edited by that one person, because it's such a personal story. You want to be able to get realize his vision, and that's difficult because it's two different brains. I kind of feel that way about this one because it's one fisherman, but it's all of the fishermen. It's not just one. Yeah.
But did you actually talk to the fisher folk, or did the script just dive you into the character? How was it?
Direct put me in one of the scenes with real fishermen, and that was difficult for me because it was supposed to be a rally. It got really emotional real quick because you can see they're real and they're doing their lines. You didn't see some of them, but man, when you hear them talk about it, you don't know if they're acting or not because they've probably said it before. And yun na nga like I said kanina, diba, I came into this like, yay, project, woohoo, Philippine, yay. And then you see everybody who's actually involved and affected, you're instantly put in your place.
Did your perspective change with the fisher folk now?
Well, I come from a family, and a lot of they fish, so it's always been something that I never saw as like an occupation, or it's just a part of life, diba? And we're Filipinos, so knowing, yeah, no, it's okay.
Pasensya na.
Okay lang, knowing that this is tapos mo yan.
Actually, a big part of the people that were there were actually the actual fisher folk, mga banqueros. There, some of them are here actually in the audience with us
Yeah.
watching.
Can they stand up? Can they stand up? Round of applause.
Yan po. Our heroes without uniform, yung mga co-actors ni Sid na totoong buhay. Thank you.
Salamat, sir. Salamat. Sir Andre, what's inspired you so much to develop series and push projects like this? And what's next?
Yung as mentioned earlier kasi, I spent some time in government, and actually when I was discussing this with my team, I kind of got also emotional kasi when I exited, I spent 3.5 years, 4 years, almost 4 years working alongside Admiral Trinidad, Colonel Xerxes, Jay Tariela of the Philippine Coast Guard, who's sadly not here, Colonel Padilla, and nakita ko talaga yung I wouldn't say dedication pero talaga yung sense of duty nila, na day in and day out, the problem seems insurmountable. But, they put on their uniforms, they put on their thinking caps and work the problem. And I felt that, when I left government, I felt like I was leaving them behind. I was leaving stuff on the table. So when we founded CIRIS, alongside my team, who worked with me sa gobyerno, we figured, parang let's do something to help our friends and colleagues, not just in government, but also in the private sector, to help our fisher folk who also we worked with, working on programs and projects as part of the NTFWPS. Parang we didn't want to leave anything behind on the table. We wanted to make sure na in our own small way, again, we're a very small private independent organization. In our own small way, we can contribute to this, to this campaign against, it's not a campaign against any one country or any one people. It's actually a campaign against apathy. Diba? Minsan kasi nakakapagod na Diba? Nakakapagod na nakikinig mo yung balita, parang walang solusyon. Pero honestly, the solution is you. You caring. You giving a damn. Diba? And honestly, Alon ng Kabayanihan, when they acted, or when they went on this project, sila na mismo nagsabi, diba? Some of them went into it fully knowing, the gravity of putting on the uniform. Some of them put on the uniform, then they just felt it. Si Sid, tinanggap lang. Then eventually, parang nag-dawn on him that this is bigger than him. Diba? So parang yes, the issue is bigger than any one of us. But together, we can make a difference. And hopefully, future generations, your kids, your children, their children's children will carry on. And then we hold the line. Because, sorry, medyo mahaba na, but honestly, the fight, the campaign in the West Philippine Sea, it's not just in the waters. It's not just in our shores. It's happening here. It's happening here in our very minds. There's some people, they're so scared to or they're either so scared or they're so desensitized na hindi, okay lang. I can't do anything about it. Problema ng EFP yan. Problema ng Coast Guard yan. Problema ng mangingisda yan. Hindi naman ako kumakain ng seafood. Pero honestly, hindi kasama kayo whether you like it or not. So what the campaign is, what this Alon ng Kabayanihan and what this short film is jumping off is a campaign of, getting aware, getting involved, making things happen in your small corner of, your piece of the Philippines, diba? Whether in your head, or in your classrooms, or in your offices, or in your families, diba? You can do something. So, do something. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Andre. Thank you. Thank you for doing this project, and we pray you do more of these projects like this. So maraming salamat.
Hopefully.
To the cast, maraming salamat. Daghan salamat. Direk Bayuga, salamat. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the cast, the director, and series. Maraming salamat po. Please spread the word. Alon ng Kabayanihan, spread the word. Spread it on social media. Tell your friends. Is this going to be uploaded anywhere? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be
It will-
uploaded in the Facebook page.
It will be uploaded on the Facebook page.
Alon ng Kabayanihan. You heard it? Alon ng Kabayanihan.
At Alon ng Kabayanihan. Maraming salamat. Ako po si Mateo Gricelli. To our men and women in uniform, maraming salamat sa servisyo niyo po. And of course, to our press friends, our friends from the colleague, we all need the support. Let's spread the word and let's make this big. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you very much.